These are science facts that start as one strange detail and end by changing the whole picture. From fossils and galaxies to math, history, and evidence, each one reveals a hidden mechanism behind the surprise. A human skull has been linked to a tsunami. That is a strange clue to read from bone alone. The 8-ape skull is the name given to this remain. Scientists study the skull with the disaster setting around it. The key term is context, clues outside the bones. A tsunami leaves a shoreline pattern that can match human remains. That lets researchers make a cautious link, not a certainty. The skull may belong to a person killed by a tsunami. If that link holds, the skull becomes a rare historical marker. One bone can sit beside the surf, carrying a disaster into the record. CDG2 is a galaxy where almost nothing visible seems to be there, yet astronomers say its mass is overwhelmingly hidden. They do not measure dark matter directly. They look at gravity, the pull that shapes motion and holds galaxies together. In CDG2, the visible stars and gas are only a tiny fraction of the total mass. The rest is inferred as dark matter from the way gravity behaves. That is why CDG2 is reported as over 99.9% dark matter. The galaxy looks faint, but its gravity points to a far larger hidden mass. So the bright part can be just a trace, while the real bulk stays unseen. Around CDG2, the stars are only a small signpost in a much bigger dark field. This fossil shows one pair of ridge-like fins, not a spread of many. That odd pair is the first clue. The animal is Tugiaspes, an extinct creature known from fossils. We only have the preserved shape in stone. Those ridge-like fins matter because paired structures are central to later limbs. In Tugiaspes, the pair may be an early step toward that pattern. The result is a fossil clue, not a finished arm or leg. It suggests how one paired form can sit near the start of a longer transition. So a small outline on a slab can point toward a huge body plan. The question stays inside the stone, beside those paired fins. An extinct damselfly family is known from wings only. No body, no head, just a fossil edge in rock. That family is called Wetwataxidae. The bodies and heads never survived in the fossil record. A wing can still hold shape clues. Those details are enough for scientists to classify an extinct damselfly family. So Wetwataxidae is real, but only partly known. One fossil part carries the name, while the rest is missing. That leaves a lone wing in rock as the full clue. For this damselfly family, the fossil record kept one fragment and lost the rest. A string game needed a math language. A loop of string can change shape fast, but your hands move faster than ordinary words. String figures are patterns made with string in hands. To describe one clearly, you need a way to mark each move, not just remember it. Thomas Storer, a Navajo-American mathematician, created one of the standard notations. It was designed to be compact and precise, so each hand motion could be written as symbols. That makes a handmade pattern easier to study and compare. Two people can read the same symbol code and reach the same string shape. So a loop between fingers can become a written pattern on paper. String, hands, and symbols meet in one small notation beside the thread. Pi Day reached inside an American prison. A professor came from Italy, carrying math into a room behind bars. The prison mathematics project arranged the visit for Pi Day. It was an educational exchange, not a performance, inside a secure setting. Pi Day gave the visit its reason. The project connected a professor from Italy with people in an American prison through mathematics outreach. That made the prison classroom feel unusually open. A math celebration crossed a wall through a lesson, a table, and shared attention. At the end, the scene was simple: a classroom table, a pi symbol, and bars beyond the window. Math sat on the table while the wall stayed in the background. An independent panel looked at cold fusion research and found no evidence it had happened. That is the strange part. The review focused on research from the National Cold Fusion Institute. The panel was independent, so it could judge the evidence on its own. Cold fusion is a big claim, so the key question was simple: does the data survive scrutiny? Here, the panel found no evidence in the research it examined. That meant the extraordinary result never cleared the evidence standard. The panel's conclusion stayed tied to what it could verify in the lab record. So the final image is not a breakthrough device, but a bench, a clipboard, and a blank result sheet beside the glassware. A Russian astrophysicist was sentenced to 5 years in a Siberian labor camp. The charges were false, and her work stopped at the sentence. Her name was Inna Nikolaevna Liman-Balanovskaja. She was a Russian astrophysicist, working in a field that depends on time, instruments, and careful observation. Then false charges turned into a 5-year sentence. Instead of an observatory, the path led to a Siberian labor camp, where punishment replaced research. The immediate result was simple and harsh: one scientist removed from her field by state power. A career built around the sky was forced into winter ground. What remains is a cold camp landscape beside an astronomer's notebook. The notebook is small, but the loss behind it is not. If one fact can change how you see a skull, a galaxy, or a scientific claim, the full set is worth the watch. Tell us which reveal changed your perspective most, and subscribe for more stories where the evidence does the talking.